I can look at it, see how bad I look. Anyhow, so I retired three years ago. And one of the reasons I do this class is because, I've been married for 30 years. And when we first had our second child, my wife called me up from her work. She says, I hate this job. I don't want to work anymore. So you're the man. You deal with the finances. And ironically, have a seat, sir. Welcome. Ironically, we had just put down a large deposit for a house that we barely qualified for because back then the interest rates were 12, 15%. So we were embellishing our incomes to qualify. And when she told me that she didn't want to work, well, guess what? We couldn't afford the house. So we proceeded with the house anyways. And I had a very big decision to make, and that was that how do I provide for my family so we don't end up on the street? And so what I did was I took all my hobbies, all my passions, and I monetized them. Now, how many people know what monetizing a hobby means? Right? Where you start making money with it. And so, within 4 years, I was able to pay my house, my kids, my wife, my cars, everything. And it worked really well. So I liked it. I said, this is good. And it came to the point where it served me really well. I lived a very carefree life because I had plenty of money coming in. So my financial stress was gone. And so once I retired, I said, okay, now that I've retired and my financial stress is gone, what's my next currency? What do I want to work on next? What is my next goal? And my next goal was to be happy. I wanted to be happy, just like you all. I want to be happy, So I went on a search for happiness. I read a lot of books. I studied a lot of people who were happy, and I would pick their brains. And I came up with a solution that whatever I use to make money, whatever phenomena I use to make a lot of money, I'm going to use that same phenomena to create happiness. So, and it's been working very well for me, and I'm going to share that with you. And so we'll go from there. Now, I have some rules for this class, and the rule is that, do you hear a hum? Or maybe it's the air? Okay, all right. Here are some rules, and I'll tell you how I came about these rules. I was at a party one time, and I was drinking with my buddies, and I drank a little too much, and I said something that I shouldn't have said to somebody, and I was asked to leave the party. It was very embarrassing for me, very embarrassing for my family, and so that day I made a very, very big decision. I said I will never, ever, ever drink again with that guy. So, which meant I could drink, but not with that guy, So anyhow, once I made that decision, I still wanted to have fun at the parties, but I didn't want to drink with certain people. So I learned how to have fun without drinking. And I came up on an epiphany that if you can have fun without alcohol, you can party all the time, right? You can enjoy life all the time. So I party all the time, I enjoy life all the time, but I have certain rules for my party, and I'll share those rules with you and see if you agree. So one of the rules for a party that starts with P is be playful. I want you all to be playful. I want you to, have fun, make jokes, whatever. And second is participate. I want you all to participate. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. This is a very interactive class because you all have a lot of life experience as well. So I ask questions, so feel free to participate. And also please turn your phones off or put them into vibrate mode. Okay? The second rule for a party that starts with A is ask any questions. This is a non-judgment zone. We accept each other. Ask any questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. And the third rule for my party is R, that starts with R, is respect. So respect each other. Make sure if you have a question, feel free to come in, ma'am. We have a couple seats available. R stands for respect. So if you're going to ask a question, make sure, raise your hands. Don't talk over each other. And the next rule starts with T, which stands for time. Ask any question, but keep your comments short, sweet, to the point, because we only have but so much time, and we don't want to, waste it asking, saying too many long things. So just keep your questions short, sweet, to the point. And Y stands for say yes, if you agree with me, and you're ready to party. So are you ready to party with me? Yes. Say yes. I want to hear yes. Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get started. So first question is, what is happiness? We all talk about happiness. What is happiness? Can anybody tell me? What is happiness? Come on in, ma'am. There's a couple more seats. Please, welcome.
When you don't have worries.
When you don't have worries. Beautiful. When you're stress-free, right?
Yeah.
when you're stress-free now, is there ever a moment when you don't have any worry at all? Never, right? You always have stress, you always have worry. So basically, if you learn to deal with stress, you will be happier, right? I mean, if your car has a flat tire and you have AAA, but guess what? Your stress is kind of handled, right? AAA will come and fix your tire. So not having any worries is a good answer, but having manageable worries. How about that? Having manageable worries. Okay. What else? What else is happiness for you guys?
Contentment.
Contentment. Beautiful answer. Contentment. Who else? What is happiness? Welcome, man. Welcome. You look very nice. Welcome.
Being able to read.
Being able to read. Being social. Being with other people of your same age, peers, right? What else?
This is just
Yes, ma'am.
Accepting life on life's terms.
Acceptance of life. Exactly. You know, if you're living in a nice house and still complaining, well, you know what? You need to accept things. Okay. What else? Yes, sir.
Me.
Yeah. What is happiness?
We also,
Huh?
if we also is peaceful.
Being peaceful. Absolutely. Being peaceful. You know, you can't do anything if you're not peaceful, right? So I Googled happiness, and this is what Google said. Happiness is a state of being happy. How clever is that? It's a state of being happy. You know? So I wasn't happy with that answer, to believe it or not. I wasn't happy. So I wanted to know what was happiness. What's happiness to me? Now, happiness is subjective. Happiness is very subjective. Some people are happy, with very few things. On the other hand, some people have to have everything, right? So happiness is very subjective. Now, Oxford Dictionary says happiness is a state of mind ranging from contentment to extreme joy. Like you said, contentment to extreme joy. Welcome, man. Have a seat. So, happiness is different for different people. And also state of contentment and general satisfaction with one's life. Okay? Now, why is happiness so important? Why is happiness so important? Can anybody tell me? Why is happiness so important? Yes, sir.
It can help being healthy.
Happiness will bring you good health. Absolutely. All day long, right? When you're happy, your immune system is stronger. You sleep good at night. You're pleasant, right? Why is happiness so important? Yes, sir.
Well, you want to be satisfied when you're living it. If you're not happy, why carry on? I mean,
Exactly.
You want things.
Exactly. God has given us, nature has given us such beautiful body. I'm not allowed to use the word God, so I'm going to say nature. Has given us such beautiful body. What a beautiful gift we've gotten. And so, you want to live it to the best potential. You want to live it as well as possible.
gives you hope.
Gives you hope. Gives you hope. There's so many things that happiness brings you. Gives you hope. Well, here's why happiness is important. Happiness will give you more energy, zest for life, better immune system, better relationships. If you're a happy person, guess what? You have a much better relationship, right? Better performance, better sleep, longevity, better brain health, less stress, less fatigue, more friends, better overall life. Who doesn't want happiness, right? We all, if you can get all this, you all want it, right? We all want happiness. That's why we're here. All right, that's not my phone, but. Okay. Yes, sir.
I came from the game table, pool table. The winners are happy, unfortunately. Losers they're sad.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is too much in life. If you win in sports, you're happy.
I'm so glad you shared that story. I used to play table tennis with this one guy, and every time he won a point, he would laugh and just be overjoyed. But when he lost a point, he wouldn't laugh. So I told him, I said, if you can start laughing when you lose a point, you'll be happy all the time, right?
Right.
So that's basically it. It had a very bigger meaning for me because if you think about it, we only laugh when we succeed, but it's the failure that brings you sustained success if you really think about it, because you learn from your mistakes, right? When you make a mistake, you fix it, and next time you're successful. So it's the failure that also brings you happiness. And if the failure starts bringing you happiness, you'll be happy all the time. All right. So now that you know what happiness is, how many people are happy right now? How many people are happy right now?
Right?
Awesome. 1, 2. Okay, so what are you happy about, sir?
Well, there was a period in my life
Right.
where I wasn't happy,
Uh-huh.
and I knew I was supposed to be, and I was saying to myself, be happy, darn it. And why aren't you happy?
Okay.
And I just looked at my life as a whole,
Uh-huh.
and what's good, what's not good, what's troublesome, what's really excellent. And I just decided I'm going to focus on the positive and not the negative.
Right?
And it took a while for
Right.
me to accomplish that, but it seems to work.
So you did self-analysis.
I'd say I'm not the happiest person in the world, but I'm pretty happy.
So you did self-analysis basically, right?
Yes.
Self-awareness. So awareness will bring you happiness, right? You made yourself more aware. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
When I lost my husband, it's me, 3 small children. The
Oh.
youngest was only 2.5.
Oh, I'm so
I
sorry.
had to make up my mind to be happy
Right.
with my children and take the responsibility of raising them.
Beautiful.
So that
Acceptance. You took
Yes.
acceptance. You accepted the situation, and you said, you know what? I don't care what happens. I'm going to make this happen. Acceptance, determination, right? Okay. How about you, man in the back? Yes. You were raising hand.
No, I didn't raise my
Oh, okay. Anybody else? You. How come you're happy? What's your source of happiness?
I'm retired.
I'm retired. Okay, less stress. Less stress. Absolutely, all day long. I'm happier since I retired too. Less stress. Yeah, less stress will always make you more happy, right? Okay. You know, you said something that really resonated with me. You said that I decided to focus on the positive. Okay, now in life, whatever you focus on becomes big for you. Isn't that true? Whatever you focus on will become bigger for you, right? So that's why I focus on happiness, because it become bigger for me, you know? Okay, and you know the best part about this class is that not only will you pick up a few things from me, I pick up things from you guys, because you know, it's because you have life experience. And so there are nuggets that I get from my classes that I incorporate in my class for the next class. So it's a very beautiful thing. You know, before I only knew few ways to be happy, but as I've been doing this class for 5 years, I've learned so many more tricks. I'll give you an example. I was asking at a senior center, I said, what makes you happy? And people said, music, this, that. And this one guy says, sleep. And he started snoring again. And there's nothing I could do, you know, because he was happy, you know, what could I do? Okay, so you're happy because you have less stress, more aware, acceptance, determination. Who else is happy? Yes.
Actually, you just said something that resonated with me. Sleep. If
Yeah.
you're not getting proper sleep,
Right. You
it can be an enormous problem.
and you're so right. Let me write that down before I forget. Sleep. Okay. Now that's so true. How many people have heard of postal workers going postal? You know why? Does anybody know why? There's a particular shift of people. There's a particular shift when people go more postal than all the other shifts. Can anybody tell me what that shift is?
The night shift.
The graveyard shift, the night shift. You know why? I used to work on the graveyard shift. And when you have to sleep during the day with those trash cans banging, kids playing, and cars humming, I will not get maybe more than 2 hours of sleep. And I was the crankiest person in the world. I remember being so cranky. If somebody asked me a wrong question, I'd get off the handle. I'd just blow off the handle. And we used to get into fights all the time at the post office. Inside the post office, there were fights all the time that were never reported because they were not major enough. In fact, I was in Alhambra, California, and I transferred to Maine to do my master's. And this guy, who was always cranky and always in a bad mood, came and shot like 7, 8 people, and I had just left to move to Maine, and he came in Alhambra and he shot several people. And so sleep is a big factor. In fact, shift workers are usually very cranky. Usually, again, that's the. So yeah, sleep is very crucial. What else?
What kind of like meaningful activity, something you like to do and you can accomplish it?
Purpose? Would you say purpose? Having a purpose will make you happy? Having a purpose, right?
A goal.
A goal, a purpose. Like today when I was going to come here, I wasn't worried if somebody cut me off. I didn't care if somebody looked at me funny. I knew I had to be here at 10 o'clock and set up my projector. I had a purpose. You know? When you have a purpose, you don't care. You Teflon coated, right? So purpose is very crucial. Well, here's the good news. Science and research has found that happy people are happy because of their certain habits. They have certain habits. And those habits will create long-term and sustainable happiness for you all the time. Okay? So let's find out what those habits are. So happy people have certain habits. It's these habits that generate long-term sustainable happiness. Let's find out what these habits are. Our goal today is to have fun. So today we're going to have fun. I want you all smiling and learn some habits of happy people and remember these habits and turn these habits into a lifestyle. So that's our goal today. We're going to learn about these habits and we're going to turn them into our lifestyle. Okay, so that we can remember them, so we can practice them every day. It's like somebody said to me, I was fixing somebody's air conditioner, and I said, hey, do you have any electric drill? Because there were a lot of screws on that cover. He says, yes. I said, can you give it to me? He says, it's at the house, which is like 100 miles away. I'm like, that doesn't do me any good. So a tool is only good if it's on you, right? You can have all the tools in the world. If they're not on you, what good are they? So that's why I don't really care for you guys to take notes as long as you remember them. And today my goal is to make it so easy that this becomes your lifestyle. Okay, you start using it all the time, and it's just, I'm going to give you some formulas on how to memorize this in a very easy way. Okay, just like I'm not using any notes, you don't see me reading through a paper because I've done it so many times. But I will share with you an acronym, a formula that will help you become a lifestyle. Fair enough? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right. Okay, because I do speak very fast. So, okay, so what are some of the habits of happy people? What are some of the habits how many people know a happy person or are a happy person? Yes.
Facial expression.
So they smile a lot, right? They smile a lot. Happy people will smile because smile is very contagious. They say this is something I came up with. If you fake a smile, it becomes real after a while. In fact, they've done studies of people who are upset, who failed tests and all that, and they put a pencil in their mouth like this. And they're smiling after a few minutes. They forget about their problem. So, if you want to fake something, fake a smile because it will become real after a while. Okay, what else? What are some of the other habits? Yes, sir.
Oh, I was just focusing on what you're saying, so I don't have anything right
Okay,
now.
well, go ahead. Tell me what were you focusing on?
I was focusing on my daughter-in-law
Uh-huh.
and how she is incredibly happy and smiling and joyful all the time.
Okay.
And just being around her,
It's
it
contagious.
rubs off.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Yeah.
It's like being with a complainer. Eventually they'll bring you down. Okay, whoever has the stronger gene is gonna win. So if your happiness gene is stronger, you're gonna win over the person who's a complainer, and vice versa. Yes, sir.
And one of the things that concerned me is when I'm with my daughter-in-law and her family, I didn't want to be overwhelming in the sense of not being happy. I didn't want to burden them.
Right. You want to fit in and.
I just didn't want to burden them.
Absolutely.
I just looked at her and she was happy. all the
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely. So what would you call that? She smiles a lot. She has energy.
Yeah.
Right? Because you cannot be happy unless you have a certain amount of energy, right? If you can't even get out of bed, right? What else? Yes, ma'am.
I enjoyed raising my children.
Okay.
And nowadays, I seem to reflect on their little habits when they were young.
Oh.
And it makes me extremely happy.
Oh, that's
I go
awesome.
back in time, but
Right.
when I tell them
Uh-huh.
how they used to do or say
Right.
things,
Positive memories.
it makes them happy.
Absolutely. Positive memories, right? Positive memories. Okay. Beautiful. That's so true because I have videos of my kids and they never have time for us. But if you play those videos of them being kids and having fun, they'll sit down and watch and be happy. Yes, ma'am.
We don't compare ourselves to others.
Absolutely. Accepting yourself as is, right? Acceptance. Accepting yourself as is rather than competing with other people because that will create so much unhappiness for you if you just compete with other people for no reason. Who else? What else? Some other habits of happy people?
Give happiness to other people.
Give happiness to other people. In life, you get what you give. You get what you give. If you give arguments and trouble to other people, guess what? You're going to get that. If you give pleasantness and happiness to other people, you get that. So basically, how would you put that in one word? Can anybody help me? Any crossword puzzle players? How many people play crossword? I love crossword. Anybody? Yeah? Okay. So giving happiness to others, how would you say that? How about helpful? Being helpful? Right?
I would say sharing my joy.
Right, sharing. Okay, beautiful. Sharing your joy. I like that. Sharing. Okay. What else? What are some of the other habits of happy people?
Well, I was thinking two words: golden rule. Do unto others.
Do unto
But-
others as you like others to do
but-
unto you.
and
Absolutely.
respect is too much like acceptance, but I was thinking respect for yourself and others.
Absolutely. The only way you can get respect is to give respect. Okay, respecting other people. What else? Yes, ma'am. Anybody?
How about courtesy?
Courtesy, politeness, absolutely. Courtesy, politeness, respect. Let's go courtesy. My spellings are not very good, so if I misspell, please let me know. That'll help me grow my English. Yes.
Being thankful. To
Being grateful, absolutely, all day long. Being appreciative,
Yes.
right? And grateful. You don't just have to be grateful to God. You can be appreciative to your spouse. You can be appreciative to your coworker, somebody who opens the door for you, somebody who does something for you, right? What happens when you're appreciative? Is it one P, right? Appreciative?
Two.
Two P's? See, I didn't even appreciate that. Okay, appreciate. Okay.
I don't know how to say it,
Okay, I will help you.
but my granddaughter,
Your granddaughter.
she is so good to me.
Okay.
So good to me. And when I say to her, you know, I tell her I
Right?
wish her safety every day,
You wish her safety?
because of how good she is to me.
Absolutely.
And
And by the way, happy people are very safe. Okay,
Yes.
so that's another thing. I mean, if you go around getting hurt all the time, you're not going to be very happy. And another thing she pointed out is being social. See, she's very
Yes.
connected with her family, and happy people usually are very social.
When my granddaughter tells me
Uh-huh.
that what she's doing for me
Okay.
now is what I have done for her all her life.
See, so reciprocity. Golden rule, beautiful. Okay. What else? What are some of the other habits of happy people?
For example, a politician should construct a very healthy system to make all the people happy, like Washington, Jefferson, Franklin.
Right. Okay, so what she's saying is
Scientists should
being philanthropic, being looking out for bigger than themselves,
yeah.
right? Being helpful, being caring, kindness, caring. Okay, so let me put down helpful. Now, how does being helpful create happiness? Can anybody tell me? What's the dynamic of helping somebody and then getting happiness yourself? What's the dynamic? How does it work? Can anybody tell me?
Not just donate money, should donate some way
Okay.
to make some people happy.
Right. Okay. So how does being helpful?
Like Beethoven, he composed
Music.
music,
Right.
make a lot of
A
generations.
lot of people happy.
people.
Music will make you happy all the time. In
Yeah.
fact, my last name is Singh, so people would say Paul Singh,
Science.
and I don't know how to sing, and so I started taking voice classes. And one of the-
Science, art, make people
right?
happy.
Science, art, creativity, right? Okay, so I'm taking voice classes, and whenever I'm sad or whenever somebody's giving me a hard time, I'll just go listen to my favorite song and sing along with it. Because when you sing along the lyrics, your mind cannot think of anything else, right? Your mind, you drive that stress out of your system because you have to pay attention to the lyrics. Okay, same thing with creativity. Yes, ma'am.
A previous marriage, my name was Grave Sandy.
Grave Sunday.
Yes, and all my friends called me Happy Sandy.
Oh.
Happy Sandy.
Happy Sunday.
They would not use, it doesn't fit my personality.
Right.
So
Even though your name was Grave Sunday, they would call you
wouldn't
Happy
use it
Sunday.
because my personality.
Beautiful.
They say don't fit it.
Beautiful.
They call me Happy.
Yeah. It's funny how I went to Burger King and they had a sandwich called Angry Whopper.
Wow.
I'm like, really? Do we need the food to match our mood? Angry Whopper. I mean, what's next? Jihad juice, or sarcastic salad. Angry Whopper. Okay, so what are some of the other habits of happy people?
Also, pastor, make people so happy.
Pastor.
Church.
Church, pastor. Yeah. You give peace of mind to people. So peaceful. Happy people are peaceful. Did that right down here? Peaceful. Yes, sir.
You've got so many already, but hope or hopeful is sometimes.
Absolutely. Hopeful and positive. How about positive
Oh
speakers?
yeah, same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Healthy.
Health conscious. How about health conscious? Because healthy is subjective. You know, like you could have bad genes, and so you touch a little bit of sugar and you're gonna go crazy, right? But being health conscious, right? Being health conscious will create happiness as long as you're health conscious. SUNC.
yes.
Oh, bless you. Conscious. Okay. How about also sleep hygiene? Sleep hygiene. Having good sleep hygiene. Because a lot of people, you know, if they have good sleep hygiene, if they have good sleep habits, they will generate happiness because they're making a conscious effort. You know.
Also love.
Love. Yeah, absolutely. Love and let's see, love. Yeah, love will make you very happy.
Community.
Community.
A sense of community.
Sense of community, social, yeah, community, also social. Okay, being in a team. Okay, so now that we have all these habits, happy people are problem solvers, right? Happy people are not complainers; they're problem solvers. Happy people become the change they want to see, right? They're not sitting there going, "Oh, I hate this place. Oh, I hate that." They'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I don't like these trash cans over there. Maybe I'll hide them behind the door," or they will do some positive change. They won't just sit there and complain, right? Right. So problem solvers. What else? There's several more, and the best part is that you don't have to write these down because I'm going to give you a formula, and before you leave this class, you will have these on the fingertips. Okay. So are you ready to hear those? Yes.
I learned this one is problem solvers. Who is happy? You for solving the problem or the person who's solving problem?
Whose problem is solved? Both. Both are happy. I'll tell you why. Both are happy. Because let's say if you have a problem and I solve it for you, okay? Now you're happy your problem is solved. I'm happy that I can solve a problem, which means that in case my loved one or for myself if I have the same problem, I know how to solve it. So having that freedom of knowing that I can solve the problem makes me happy. Solving your problem makes you happy, and you being grateful to me for solving your problem will make you happy. Will make me happy. Gives me good self-esteem, right? Right. So that's why being helpful is very, very powerful, because when you're helpful, what happens? You solve the other person's problem. Okay, they're happy, they're grateful, they raise your self-esteem by thanking you. Okay, by saying nice words to you. Anytime your self-esteem goes up, you're happy. Okay, basically that's what happens when people criticize you. What happens to your self-esteem? Goes down. And what happens to your mood? Goes down. Now on the other hand, if somebody praises you and gives you a very nice, sincere compliment, and it's sincere, not some fake compliment, what happens to your self-esteem?
Well, the thing with self-esteem, if somebody criticizes me, it's about them.
But see, you know that.
I walk away and I think
But see,
they're
that's-
talking about themselves.
That's because you're evolved, you know this. But for most people, even for me, initially it is a little downer, especially if they're really rough on you and they criticize you in front of a whole bunch of people.
Walk away.
Right, but what I'm saying is, that's a self-preservation technique. But on the other hand, it does bring you down a little bit, especially if somebody criticizes you in front of other people, right?
Well, it's frustrating.
It is. It's frustrating. On the other hand, if somebody gives you a nice praise that's very sincere and genuine in front of people, it does lift you up a little bit, right? You feel like doing more for that person, right? So, okay, so these are all the things, and there's several more. Now let me ask you this: if you were practicing all these things, okay, if you had these memorized and you were practicing all these things, would your happiness factor go up a little bit? Right? All day long, right? If you were practicing all these things, trust me, you'll be happier, a lot happier than you are. Okay? If you're consciously practicing these things. So, if the only thing that's keeping us from doing these is we don't have a way of keeping this in our head, right? If we were able to memorize these in a way that they became our lifestyle, our happiness would go up. Pretty simple, right? Yes?
Well, is it true that we're prone to happiness? I mean, that's our natural way of living, but because we're socialized the way we are, people don't believe it. They think it's a choice or not.
Well, okay, you have a very valid point, and there's a certain amount of happiness that is we're prone to a certain amount of happiness, like 30-40%. But the rest of it is under our control, okay? And that's what we're doing here, is to make sure that the rest we can control, okay? By consciously practicing certain habits, we can control the rest of it. You're right, there are certain people who are predisposed to being miserable, and they're going to be miserable, but if they practice these habits, their happiness will come up, okay? And so now, so basically, happy people, I'm going to tell you, happy people are health conscious. They have a sense of humor. They're more honest. Being honest will create happiness, right? Because you'll sleep better at night, right? And you won't have as much anxiety because if you're honest, you don't have much stress when you fall asleep at night, okay? They're honest, they're humble. Happy people are very humble, right? Okay? Happy people are assertive. They won't let anybody walk all over them. That just like you said, you'll walk away from the room. I do the same thing. I have a man cave in my house. If my spouse is coming down at me because she's in a bad mood, I go to my man cave and I come back 10 minutes later. She's smiling, I'm smiling, we hug, and everything is hunky-dory. Okay? Happy people are very adaptable, right? They'll go to any room and become adaptable. If you don't adapt very well, you're not going to be happy, right? Happy people are very affectionate. They will greet everybody. They'll hug people. Okay? Happy people are very peaceful. They're happy people are playful, right? Yes, ma'am.
The better part of 70 years
Uh-huh.
in the workplace,
Uh-huh.
it was nighttime. How would this explain sleep hygiene?
How do you explain sleep hygiene?
Hygiene,
Oh, you didn't sleep good? You mean for the most part of your life you worked at nights?
yes, my working life
Right.
is so how hygiene.
Sleep hygiene?
Nowadays I don't sleep well, but it's become part of my
Become
life.
habit, yes.
So
Your body-
hygiene, how could I improve?
How
What
can
is
you
it?
improve your sleep hygiene?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, sleep hygiene is okay. That's another class. See, we're gonna do this class every month, once a month. We're gonna do this class, and we're not like if most of the people have seen the first part of this, then we move on to the rest of it, like how to have better sleep hygiene, how to be more assertive, how to have acceptance, how to have more positive speaking, how to have respect. So we do subtopics, okay? And we'll get to that. But I'll make sure that I do that. In fact, if you want, one of the subtopics I can call it sleep hygiene and do that today if you want. Okay.
It
Sure.
depends.
Yeah, it depends. I'll take a vote. Okay. So happy people are more peaceful. They're playful. They have good phone manners. Did you know that happy people have good phone manners? Okay. And I'll tell you why. Let's say you go on a job interview and you have lousy phone manners and you don't turn your phone off and your phone rings while you're being interviewed and you answer it and you start talking. Are you gonna get that job?
No.
Is that going to give you any more happiness? You're going to tick off a lot of people, right? And so having phone manners is very crucial. Okay. Yes, sir.
There weren't cell phones when we last applied for jobs.
Exactly, exactly. But what I'm saying is,
there were no cell.
as time changes, we have to adapt, and there's certain happiness habits that come up, right? Okay, so happy people are problem solvers. Happy people are purposeful. They have a purpose in life. Happy people are they know how to prioritize. Happy people know their priorities. Okay, happy people are in the moment. Happy people are interested in other people. Happy people are intuitive. Okay, happy people are nature lovers. Happy people are non-judgmental. Happy people are encouraging. They have good emotional IQ. Happy people are they're empathetic. Happy people are good energy managers. Happy people are they have good sleep hygiene. They're stable. They're social. They smile a lot. They sing a lot. Okay. Now, how am I remembering these? Can anybody tell me? How am I remembering these?
It becomes intuitive.
By remembering the mnemonic device that you're about to give us.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So how can we remember these habits? Here we go. So look at the word. Health conscious, honest, humble, good sense of humor.
Oh.
Now you feel free to take a picture of this if you want.
Yes.
They're assertive, adaptable, accepting, accommodating. They're peaceful, philanthropic, purposeful, pleasant. Phone manners, prioritize, personable, problem to give. Now there's one habit that nobody told me, but if you have this habit, you will be happy all the time, and I'm going to share that with you. It's called ability to turn your problems into a gift. If you can turn your problems into a gift, will you be happy? Right? If you can turn your problems into a gift, trust me, you'll be happy all day long. And I do that all the time. In fact, the story I told you about drinking too much at a party and then being thrown out of the party, I turned that into a gift. Because of that, I'm happy all the time now. Because I party all the time. Because I learned how to enjoy life without alcohol. Right? That's a problem turning to gift. Happy people are in the moment, they're interested, they're independent, very crucial, independent. Being independent is a very good source of happiness. So whatever it takes, stay independent, right? They're nature lovers, non-judgmental, nourishing, empathetic, energetic, encouraging, emotional IQ, they're smile, sincere, stable, social, supportive. So if you take the word happiness, okay, and you take each letter in it, you will pretty much bring back these. Now, happy people are aware. This gentleman told me about awareness. I'm going to add that next time. See how I add more to it? Okay, being aware of yourself. Okay? Now, if you practice these, will you be happy? If you practice these consciously, these habits consciously every day, and at the end of the night, you took an inventory, okay, how many of these habits did I practice and how many of these habits did I not practice? Would your lifestyle become better? Would you be happier? Let me ask you this question.
It
Yes or
would,
no?
but some people are maybe genetically disposed towards.
No, but see, that's the best part. The genetic disposition is only 40%, okay? The 60% is in your hands. And if you practice this, I was genetically predisposed to be unhappy. When I was a little kid, I used to complain so much. I would cry every time I had to go to school. My mom would complain a lot. But once I started practicing these habits, knock on wood, I'm never sad now. And I have problems all the time. I have problems all the time. In fact, I get in trouble more than all of you combined. I do. I'm just being honest with you. But because I know how to turn my problems into a gift, I've come a long way. So, yes, the genetic predisposition is there, but that's just an excuse. If you practice these and you memorize these in a way that you will see that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's go back to the word happiness. Okay, so I want you all to help me remember these. So, what does the letter H stand for in happiness?
Humor,
Humor. What else? Come on, I want you guys to humble. Feel free to participate.
Healthy.
Health conscious, yes. Being health conscious, right? Because you only become healthy after you're health conscious, especially after 60, 65. You really got to be health conscious. You cannot just eat anything and drink anything, right? You got to make a conscious effort to be healthy. What else?
Helpful.
Helpful. Helpful. What else? Come on.
Hopeful was not on it.
Hopeful was not on it,
No.
but you see, hopeful was not on it. Hopeful, yeah. What else? H. Come on. There's one more that we're missing.
Can we cheat?
Absolutely. There's a lot of advertisement. Abe. H. It's a six-letter word and
Honest?
Honest Abe. Yeah, remember? Honesty will make you happy. It's hard to be honest all the time, but trust me, being honest will create happiness because it'll create less stress. How about that? And you'll sleep better at night. Okay? Okay, let's go to the letter A.
Agreeable.
Huh?
Agreeable.
Agreeable,
Appreciate it.
Assertive.
appreciative, assertive. What else?
accepting,
Acceptance. What else?
Adaptable.
Adaptable,
aware,
aware. See how many we just came up with from just one letter. Okay, moving on to the next letter, P.
know our
Positive.
priorities,
Prioritize,
Positive.
positive. What else? Peaceful. Right? Happy people are peaceful. You can't fight with them. You can't fight with a happy person. They'll walk away. Just like she said, they'll walk away. They're not going to engage in something that's not, that's not positive. You cannot make them mad. It's awesome. What else? P.
patient,
Patient. Awesome. See that? I didn't have that. Thank you. Patient. Yeah. Patience will give you happiness all the time. And if you become impatient, guess what? You will make yourself unhappy and the people around you unhappy. What else?
And the phone manners.
Phone manners.
Put it away.
Put it away. What else? Anybody? Come on. There's a couple more. I'm looking for it.
Purposeful.
Purposeful. Beautiful. Purposeful. What else? I have a whole class on purpose. Huh? Out of the class, man.
I would say perceptive.
Perceptive. Absolutely perceptive. Being present. Perceptive. Being present, right? Perception comes from being present. If you're paying attention, you're perceptive. You know that what's going to happen next. How about you, man? Anything with P? There's one more that's very crucial.
This is philanthropy.
Huh?
peaceful.
Philanthropic, yeah. Peaceful, philanthropic, yeah.
What do you mean by philanthropy?
Philanthropic means helping helping the community. You know, like Bill Gates had a lot of money, so he started giving to people.
Foundation.
Yeah, starting a foundation. You know, and it doesn't have to be a big
Work
fund.
for us.
Like in my case, I don't have too much money, but I want to give back. I don't want to charge money, but I want to give back. I want to see this world a happier place. I don't want to see any war. My goal is to, you know, if I could eradicate one thing from this planet, it would be war. I don't want to see anybody's child getting killed for no reason because two leaders can't get along, right? Look at how many people get killed because the leaders can't get along. Because the leaders have an ego. You know, why? We don't need that. This whole planet should be one planet. Okay, it should be one planet. You know, we should have that sense of community for the whole planet. Why should we fight, right? So giving
You
back,
say playful,
playful, yeah,
Or is that-
playful,
yeah.
playful is very crucial.
personable, but maybe that.
Personable, playful, yeah, they're both different and they're both very good. Polite, problem to gift is what I'm looking for. Problem to gift. Ability to turn your problems into a gift will generate happiness for you and your community. Okay, if you can turn your problems into a gift, you will generate happiness for yourself. Okay, let's move on. What about I?
In the moment.
In the moment. What else?
Independent.
Independent. What else? There's one more.
Intuitive.
Intuitive, interested in other people, right? Okay, let's go to N.
Nice.
Nice.
That's too easy.
Nice,
Wasn't
no,
on there.
nurturing, no, it's
Wasn't on
okay.
there.
Nice, nurturing,
Non-judgmental.
non-judgmental. Anytime, let me ask you this, anytime you see somebody being judgmental, well, guess what? They're not happy people. If they're judging you, they're not happy people. So I want you to be aware when you're judging somebody. Remember that. When you're judging somebody, you're also not happy. So what's another way of not judging but yet getting the problem solved? You want to solve the problem, but you don't want to judge. How would you do that?
Well, you move beyond the personality and you look at what's causing the problem. What is the
Exactly.
root of it?
Yeah, exactly. You take away the person and you look at the root of the problem and you figure out a way to solve that and you suggest that to the person in a nice way, right? That way you solve the problem and you're not judging the person. It's okay to solve the problem. You have to solve the problem. If I don't like something, I have to solve it. Otherwise, I can't sleep at night. But on the other hand, I don't want to criticize the person. I want to just solve the problem or turn it into a gift, better yet. Okay.
The word naive comes to me.
Say again.
Naive.
Naive?
Yeah.
Naive, arrogant and naive. Yeah, a lot of people who are judgmental because they're good at something and now they want to look down on everybody else who's not. I have a nephew who went to Harvard and he thinks his biggest asset is Harvard. I think his biggest problem is Harvard. Because now he looks down on everybody. You know, he's sarcastic to everybody. He never smiles because he thinks he's better than everybody. And that's the biggest problem to have.
Like Steve Jobs,
Right.
he had that attitude.
Yeah, because when you're too smart, it can be I was the lousiest student. And now, because to me, the teachers did not, occupy my brain. They didn't, they would talk and leave. They would just do their job. They didn't engage me. I wanted to be engaged, and they didn't engage me. And that's why, so when I do a presentation, I engage everybody. I make sure that I engage everybody. In fact, it was a problem that became a gift. The first class I used to do was at a senior center in Herndon Senior Center. And they said, sure, Paul, you can do this happiness class from 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, guess what happens at 1?
People fall asleep.
They just had lunch, a big lunch. And now they're going to fall asleep on you. So you better engage them or else they're going to fall asleep on you, right? So that became a gift. So I programmed myself to make sure that it was very interactive. Okay, so moving right along to N. Non-judgmental. What else?
If you have neatness where you live and not
Beautiful. Give her a big hand, everybody. Beautiful. I missed that one. Neat and organized. Being neat and organized is very helpful. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's not true. My cousin is a slob, but she's happy. Yes, but let me tell you one thing. Let's say right now it's 11:45. And let's say you have a doctor's appointment at 11. And the doctor's office is 15 minutes away. And you go to look for your keys, but you can't find them. So you fumble everywhere, and now you only got 5 minutes left to 11, and your appointment is at 11, and it takes 15 minutes to get there, and you find your keys somewhere under the clothes or someplace. How would you be driving?
I would say the doctor's gonna make me wait anyway, what the?
Right. Well, see, but on the other hand, let's say that that's not the case. If you were really late for a very crucial appointment, how would you be driving? Stressed very badly. Would you get a ticket?
Probably.
If you're lucky, you'll get a ticket. If you're not lucky, you might get into an accident, break a limb or something, right? Would you be happy then? So being neat and organized is not a prerequisite, but it really helps. So thank you, man. That's why I had you applaud, because that's something I have to tell myself. In fact, I'm doing a decluttering class now. There's a class that I'm teaching, presentation I'm doing on decluttering and downsizing through AARP. I presented, and I love it because I have to behave myself. I can't look you in the eye and talk about decluttering when I'm a slob. See what I'm saying? So I have to behave. So thank you. Okay, so neat and organized, non-judgmental. There's one more that I'm looking for. Happy people are nature lovers. Thank you. Nature lovers. Happy people love nature. They'll get out of the house. They'll go in the woods and walk in the woods. They just love nature. They're one with nature. You know, it's amazing. If you understand the laws of nature, and if you can work with the laws of nature, you're so much happier. If you go against the laws of nature, you're just going to be miserable. Okay? So it's like it's so much easier to swim downstream than upstream, right? So same thing, nature. Okay, what else? What about E? Energetic. Good energy management, right? You wanna have lots of energy at certain times, and you wanna have less energy when you wanna fall asleep. So good energy management. Okay, what else?
Engaged.
Happy people are engaged. Happy people, they might not get married, but they're engaged. No, I'm just kidding. They're engaging. They're enthusiastic. Right? What else with E?
Enjoy life.
They enjoy life. They're encouraging.
Energetic.
They're encouraging, empathetic, right? Okay, let's go with S.